in my womblands, deep, deep in my womblands, deep in my womblands, deep, deep in my womblands, deep in my womblands, deep, deep in my womblands, deep in my womblands, deep, deep in my womblands, 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 in my womblands, deep, deep in my womblands. I saw white woman tears in the tracks with a remix and a country song. Facts, just leave. You cannot compete. Fuck with me. I'll have an album out in a week. Talk shit. I'ma have to holler. I'ma have to make you look like you suck dick for $1. Call me Uncle Mixie, but your girl call me Papa. Last night I was busy with your mama. Bananarama like a Hannah Montana from Alabama. Drinking Tropicana, playing piano in the cabana. Sending out receipts to a grandma. I'ma sample that, have them dancing like damn, brah. Bananarama like a Hannah Montana from Alabama. Drinking Tropicana, playing piano in the cabana. Sending out receipts to a grandma. I'ma sample that, have them dancing like damn, brah. Bananarama like a Hannah Montana from Alabama. Drinking Tropicana, playing piano in the cabana. Sending out receipts to a grandma. I'ma sample that, have them dancing like damn, brah. Bananarama like a Hannah Montana from Alabama. Drinking Tropicana, playing piano in the cabana. Sending out receipts to a grandma. I'ma sample that, have them dancing like damn, brah. In my womblands, deep, deep in my womblands, deep in my womblands, deep, deep in my womblands, deep in my womblands, deep, deep in my womblands, deep in my womblands, deep, deep in my womblands, in my womblands, deep, deep in my womblands, in my womblands, deep, deep in my womblands, in my.
All right, perfect. Here we go. All right, let's see here. You hear the music? Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, I'm gonna be looking at the camera here for YouTube, and then I have a live right here for TikTok. If you guys are on TikTok, I appreciate you guys being here. I recommend you guys maybe heading over to YouTube. I think it's a better experience. Last time, by the way, when we were doing the Modern Warrior kind of like review, we got cut. We unfortunately lost the live, and although I appealed and they returned it, of course, at the moment, I mean, we were like 20 minutes in, and right, maybe less, and then they cut it. Probably spam bots or something like that. If you guys are over on TikTok, there's like 11 of you guys here. Let me know if you guys can hear me. You guys should be able to hear me just fine. How about everybody over on TikTok? Are you guys able to hear me right now? Are you guys good? I want to make sure that we keep, before I kick off what I have for you guys can hear me. And again, if you guys are over on TikTok, thank you for being here. Appreciate you guys. Head over to YouTube if you want. It's a much better experience. Okay, perfect. Addison, hey, I appreciate you. So hearing you perfectly. Okay, great. So, and you can hear me on TikTok. Okay, this is good. This is good. So I have a whole bunch of stuff, by the way. Again, I have both cameras here. Here's a little bit of what I have, if you guys can see over on TikTok, of what's happening when it comes to some updates that I have. Now, I'm going to get to, what's up, Tippy? I'm going to get to things that you guys want to hear. Of course, like what are the updates for, whatever, for Modern Warrior. And they're not massive updates, but I do have some stuff that I want to discuss with you guys, right? And some more predictions. Come on, it's fun to do predictions. For those of you guys that are always asking me, man, why are you always covering him or talking about him? He's content. I mean, the vast majority of us are here because it's content, right? I mean, that's why we're here. Let's not BS, right? We're here because it's entertaining. But anyways, so let's do it. Let's jump into some of the first things. And again, I will try to keep everyone that's watching over on TikTok as entertained as I can possibly get you. If you can switch it over to YouTube, it's a lot better. Love your take on all the BS on the app. Thank you. I appreciate it. I do what I can. You guys seriously make my day. So let me start off by saying that, right? What I always do, for those of you guys that have been watching me at least for the last, I don't know, a few TikToks, if not for the last few months, what do I always do? I thank who's important, which is you guys that come here, taking time out of your life. You can be watching anyone else. You can be doing anything else. We don't even really know each other personally. I'm sure it would be very pleasant to meet some of you guys one day in person, but nonetheless, you guys are here with me. So thank you. 110 over on TikTok, and it's just climbing over on YouTube as well. So again, let me thank you, okay? That's how I like to start all my videos. So again, if you're watching over on TikTok, thank you for being here. You can always switch to YouTube for a much better experience. But, by the way, somebody asked me, he's like, dude, how come you just don't do it all the way on TikTok? When they give me access to streaming my screen and everything, I will. So it'll be like a seamless experience between the two, okay? But for now, I don't have that access. I guess I'm not that important. So I'm doing what I can here. But we have some stuff for today. Okay, so you guys have been watching over on YouTube. Again, for those of you guys watching over on TikTok, I have some stuff for you guys as well. So I'm gonna, let's see if I can flip my camera around real quick. I feel like such a freaking boomer, as they say, when I cannot flip my camera. You would think it would be super easy, but I can't for some reason. Interact, comment, GIF, pause, setting, hear your voice. I don't want to hear my voice. Okay, that's a total boomer moment for me right now. I can't even flip my screen. But anyways, I'm going to do it the way my mom does it. And it's just like, whoop, flip your screen. Too much? No? No? Sorry, my mom is watching. Sorry, it's not a dub on you. I'm just, or, it's not to be mean to you. All right, let's jump into the first thing. So the first thing I want to talk about today is H3H3. Now, before I say anything, how many of you guys are like H3H3 fanatics? Like, be real with me. Like, I don't want to end up having like a massive amount of like people coming after me because somehow everybody in my chat is like an H3H3 like supporter. I want to know, please tell me in the chat. And if you don't know who the hell H3H3 is, say it as well, because maybe it's me. That, you know, maybe I'm the only one that freaking knows who H3H3 is. But yeah, I want to know. I'm ignorant, you're fine, thank you. Yeah, I definitely want to know who the hell, who are many of you guys. So let's see, H3H3 fan, I don't know who they are, okay. All right, so it doesn't look like there's a lot of people, at least here, like massive supporters of H3H3. So let me tell you guys this. I have been watching Ethan Klein and his wife for many, many years. And I feel, ready, in my opinion, that they have gone like a steady decline in not their content. Obviously, they pump a lot of content out, but in what they say. And I feel that is for the sake of being like as edgy as it can be. And again, this is someone that watches H3H3 often. Like I watch them often. But I feel that lately, because Ethan is trying to be relevant, you know, whatever, edgy, he's saying some shit that I'm like, dude, like there is some, you know, borderline like, okay, that's comedy, but it's kind of like raunchy. And then there's just completely unhinged. And I'm going to show you guys right now at least a clip that in my opinion is unhinged. And I'm going to explain myself. Like, I'm going to tell you why I think that. Like, I'm not going to just throw accusations. You know me, I bring the receipts. So I'm going to tell you guys why. And again, over on TikTok, let me know if at least you can hear it. You might not be able to like maybe see it very, very well, but at least tell me if you can hear it, okay? So let's start with the clip that I want to show you guys. So this is the clip. I put it on my alternative, by the way. I put it on my alternative a TikTok. It didn't get taken down, but I was afraid to put it on my actual account because I get taken down for everything. So check this out. You let me know if I'm onto something, okay? This is what he said, and I thought it was bad. So check it out.
Euthanize people at 80, straight up.
Oh God! Are you trying to?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Stop!
I'm kidding.
I don't like this whole thing right now about ageism. I would rather just talk about the toenail.
Listen, sometimes you just gotta make a stand, okay?
I agree with.
I'm tired of the world being run by old fucking. There's not enough opportunities for young people in the world already as it is.
In Salt Lake
and these
City.
people never want to pass the fucking reins.
Make a stand about Salt Lake City.
It used to be that you would gracefully pass the reins to the younger generation. You can't. You got to fucking go. You gotta go retire.
Sometimes people are old and it's gotta stop.
Well,
I just want to say
by the time they graduate, they're like 35 if you're going to specialize in medicine.
Okay, so what?
I just want to
35-year run.
Yeah, so it goes one of two ways. Either they're a master of the craft or they're too old for it.
Look,
whatever Ethan is saying does not represent me or how I run my business. Thank you.
Well,
there's no ageism in Teddy Fresh.
Yeah, there's no 80-year-olds at Teddy Fresh either, just to be clear.
Just because they haven't applied.
Right.
Back in the days in Scandinavia, they used to kill old people. They threw them off or they made them jump off big mountains.
That's what the...
So that's basically the gist of it, okay? that's like the biggest gist of it, is what you just heard right now. So there's a few things that I want you guys to take away from that, right? That I heard that a lot of people, I think if they're in the show, and this is not the beginning of the show necessarily, so if you're like in it and you're all up in the ha 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 in the background and the sound bites are hilarious, you might have missed that, right? So a few things that I want to highlight. Number one, I know people get upset when they're like, oh, everybody on the H3 crew is like a bunch of like yes men. In a way, I have to agree. I can't necessarily say that every single one of them. A lot of them do have spoken out, but a lot of them, like, they'll just say things that make no sense, like 0 sense. Like, what did you just say right now? For instance, okay, for instance, check it out. So in the moment where Ethan says that like outlandish statement, right? Hear what oh man, I forgot her name, but one of the crew members say, okay, just hear this bit right here. What does it mean, by the way? Like, this makes no sense. Check it out.
Sometimes people are old and it's gotta stop.
Well,
Sometimes people are old and it has to stop.
You got to fucking go. You gotta go retire.
Sometimes people are old and it's gotta stop.
Okay, so I'm already seeing people obviously saying, dude, what are you saying? They're talking about politics. You're overreaching. Listen to me. I'm not saying I disagree with, I guess, the fundamental idea that you have a lot of people that are in politics. You're right. And give me an amen, by the way, on both chats if you guys agree, where politicians are too old to be in those roles simply because of their ideals, right? Like, I mean, some of these men and women were born when a lot of the current, more modern laws were not in existence. And for that matter, by the way, you know, there was a lot of racist stuff that happened back then, right? So back then, there was a lot of stuff that were normalized that now shouldn't be normalized. So I agree with that statement fundamentally, but it's the way he said it. And this is why, if you want to say you're making a big deal out of it, this is why. I'll tell you why. Because I also believe that when you have a large platform, like Ethan does, you do have a level of responsibility. Like, you might say you don't. You might say, again, you're reaching, JT. You might say a lot of things, but you have a level of responsibility. And now, my followers, the vast majority of you guys are super mature. Like, I really got to give it to you guys. Like, I have my few immature guys that, or girls or gals, whatever, that will come out and say something like, something dumb, right? But for the vast majority, my followers are pretty damn, like, mature. I can see it in your guys' comments, right? But, you know, Ethan, and today, by the way, on the latest podcast he did, he admitted, like, most of my viewers are super young. So when he says things like that, personally speaking, if we're going to hold any side of the political aisle, the left, the right, to like a standard of like, dude, be careful with what you say because you never know what unhinged viewer you have, it should apply to everybody. It shouldn't just apply to the right or to the left or to Ben Shapiro or to any whatever other YouTuber, politician, whatever. It should apply to everyone, right? So in the case of Ethan Klein, you know, you heard it very well what he said, right? Like we should, like, whatever. What did he say? Like, I got to play it one more time. I mean, it kind of makes me cringe, but I got to play it.
Fucking euthanize people at 80.
Euthanize. Okay, you're like, oh, that's a hyperbolic statement. He's laughing. I get what you're saying. So if you're defending him from that standpoint, I get what you're saying. My opinion is that the guy should be more careful and not just like sweep everything as like funny. It was funny. It was like, it's cringy. And somebody just said it earlier, and like actually more than one person said it. It was cringy. So, you know, that's my take on Ethan so far. Like that's one thing that I want to put out there, right? Because I feel like there's a lot of people that will overly protect him, and the guy cannot do any wrong. And what do I always tell you guys? If you're a follower of mine, what do I always tell you? Be careful, right? When you're looking up at these idols that you might internally idolize and you might not realize, because you never know when they might make you want to, you know, when they push you to step on shit. If you know what I mean, if you know what I'm getting with this, right? So, you know, I'm not saying cancel the guy. I don't support that. I'm just saying, like, it was more than cringe, right? What he said. Even Hila on the podcast, you heard it yourself. She thought back to like, dude, we just got like demonetized a few weeks ago, or they got suspended. Like, she tried to step away from that, right? She's also been on hot waters, right, recently. So when he said that, even his own wife is like, nah, dude, like, I'm not down with this. Like, Nah. So just something to put out there, food for thought for you guys thinking that it was just a joke, get over it. Again, I think the guy should watch himself, right? And anybody else watching him as well should consider things like that, right? And not support, you know, if he is going to have a maniac moment, because I think in some capacity, the guy has had like weird, you know, maniac moments. All right. So that was the whole H3H3. I see a lot of people support here, but I also see a lot of people saying that you guys agree, so I appreciate it. All right. Let's move on to one more guy before we get to whatever everyone else got here for, or is here for, excuse me. And that is Sneako. So first of all, in the chat, again, let me ask you guys, how many of you guys know Sneako, or how many of you guys have seen his videos recently? Anybody? Is it just me? That, you know, that only me? Like, it's only me that I know Sneako, the Sneako guy? Anybody? Come on, chat. Let me know. Said what? Let me see here. I'm trying to catch up with both chats. I literally have two chats here at the same time. Sneako, the creator, Sneako. I don't know how he pronounces his name. So let me share my thoughts right now on what's happening a lot with creators around all platforms. TikTok, YouTube. I mean, you name it, is out there. There is like this very toxic ideology that people have taken too far in saying we need to defend ourselves against, you know, the feminists. You know, we need to defend ourselves against anything that's considered beta. And let me tell you guys something right now, okay? I do not agree with the hard, you know, radical ideologies of feminism, but I don't agree either with the hard ideologies, the radical ideologies of some men, like an example, the Andrew Tates of the world, right? That they are like the Fresh and Fit podcast. While I'm not saying that they don't have like a couple good points here and there, they're radical. In my opinion, they're radical, right? They believe in like, oh, you know, women belong like beneath men. Many of you guys that have been following me for a while know that I am a father of two beautiful girls. Okay, one day they're gonna grow up to be beautiful women, at least in my eyes, right? I mean, all parents probably think their kids are beautiful. That's fine, right? But what I'm gonna tell you as well is that I also have a boy, right? I'm a father of a little boy, and there is a goddamn balance that I think a lot of people haven't yet understood, discovered, and again, people get radicalized all the time. And these applications do a damn good job at radicalizing you in thinking you should be for one sex or the other, right? Or one gender or the other, or whatever. I don't want to get into semantics right now. But you get where I'm going with this, okay? And a guy like Sneako is like the junior Andrew Tate. And I'm going to share a video with you guys, wannabe, okay? Or I'm sorry. I said wannabe because I saw someone's comment. I'm going to share a quick video with you guys of his reaction, of how he reacts. And for all my young guys out there, please understand, this is in no way someone that you should be looking at, even as a role model or entertaining. This is pure toxicity to your mind. You know how they say, like, don't watch corn, if you know what I mean? You know what I mean with that? Corn, you know, corn stuff online. Don't go to the hub. You know what I mean? This is the equivalent of that in my eyes, right? But for your development, for your mental stability and development. And obviously the guy is doing it more than anything just for entertainment. But like I just said right now with Ethan Klein, unlike other people, I like to be balanced across the board, right? And I don't like the heinous things that, you know, that maybe sometimes Ethan decides to say on his podcast. And I'm not going to support someone also on the other side, like this Sneako guy or Andrew Tate, that are like, yeah, you know, we are always above man, and here's like a couple few examples of their reality. So before I play this clip for you, I think at least we can all agree that my perspective of my life and what I've been through is my perspective of my life and what I've been through. I can only give you my perspective of what I've been through. For some of you guys that have been out there, right, and have lived a different experience on dating, marriage, I can't sit here and speak for you. And nobody really should take, you know, with open arms any of these idiots in their videos, because then again, then they start poisoning the mind. So let me share that video real quick with you guys. Check this out.
It comes down to accountability on all parts, right? Like,
which you don't take.
we recognize that there's a problem in equality with men and women, and whether that's women benefiting getting into clubs for free or men benefiting getting paid more, I think that conversation starts with us admitting.
Wait, chat, what are you saying? Right girl shirt had what? I didn't even see it. What's on her shirt? Oh my God, chat! Oh my God! You're right! Look at that! There's, I swear to God! There's a fucking correlation between the eyeliner. Look at that! She's wearing a shirt that says whore! Proudly walking around, I'm a whore. And you know how dumb they are? You know how dumb she is? If I call her a whore, why would you say that? Fuck! Fuck! How did I not see that?
So, sorry, the guy blows my ears out. I'm sorry if he's blowing your ears out as well. So the guy goes out consistently, right? And will vouch for saying, essentially, the guy wants to come out and call women whores and this and that. That's what he wants, right? I mean, he can disguise it all he wants, right? And on TikTok, he's really good. He's really good at like watching himself on TikTok, right? Because we all do, right? But that's what he wants to do. And the problem is that he has a lot of young viewers. By the way, if you think like this doesn't really apply to me, JT, like what the hell are you talking about? Well, hear me out for a second, okay? Some of you guys out there are older brothers, sisters, have children, have nieces and nephews, right? And this is the kind of trash content creators, right, that exist out there. And while we can never put an end to them in a way that like to deplatform and stuff like that, and I don't necessarily believe in deplatform, but that's a different story for another day. I will say that we all have a way to at least impact the young minds out there, right? And telling them when they come across idiots like this, especially when they're spending so much money on ads and trying to push their narrative in front of people, it's to get in front of them and say, listen, like this is toxic to your mind, and this is why, right? And giving them those examples. All right. Are there some feminists that are extreme? Of course there are. There's some extreme ass feminists out there. I mean, let's be honest, right? I mean, we can all be honest, yeah. That, you know, they believe like men are less than human or men are less than women. And I think the vast majority of people, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong right here, everybody watching, the vast majority of people actually will say, yeah, that's bullshit too. Like, really, there is no gender that's more than the other. I will tell you that there is a significant amount of things that I, as a guy, right, I am horrible at. That if I would come across compete with another woman on certain things, I really just wouldn't want to compete. I just suck at it, right? To give you an example, a really quick example, my wife is going to be a hell of a lot better in having compassion for certain topics than I do. I cannot find compassion sometimes, right? In certain things. I don't. The word is not humble, though. The word's escaping me right now. But I cannot find that empathy for certain topics. I don't want to get too much into the topics that I believe that I don't have that empathy. But my wife will turn around and say, have you considered this? Have you considered that? Have you thought about this? Something else, if you want to say, well, okay, well, that's ideologies. What about like actually something in life that she's good at? Parenting. I'm going to say it. Like, I'm not a horrible parent. I'm not an absent father. I'm not, I don't have tons of children out there laying around with women. I don't, it shouldn't be something that I'm like, oh, I'm showing off, but, I don't have anything in terms of like any kind of domestic issues, like violence or anything like that. Again, it shouldn't be something like you want a fucking cookie for that. But, I hope you guys get what I'm doing with that. But as a parent, she's just more in tune with what the kids need than I do. And it escapes me. Sometimes I get wrapped up sometime at work in doing what I want to do, and it escapes me. And she's just better at that, right? Can I be just as good as her? Probably, I suppose, if I really tried, but it just comes natural to her, right? So there's a lot of things that I think that we can all appreciate, that one can do better of the other. And men like this, kids like this, someone said trash individuals like this, all they do is indirectly poison, young minds. And on top of that, my biggest concern would be that some of you out there, some of you ladies, might have some of those words like F with you, right? Like just up here. It's like, and I seen some of the comments, right, that I see on this guy's videos and on Andrew Tate's videos, and they're like, yeah, I guess as a girl I can tell you that I'm totally stupid. Like as a girl, you should never tell yourself, even if you don't think you're like the smartest. And I say air quote smartest because, man, that's a whole other subject I get into when it comes to smarts. No one should ever sit here and be like, yeah, I guess I'm kind of stupid when it comes to like doing things, and men are better, So I wanted to touch on that real quick. It's been bothering me for some time. That guy is growing in popularity. So when you come across his videos, I just wanted to prepare some of my viewers, right? My lower viewers. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into what I'm sure everyone's here for, right? And that is like, what has transpired? What have I caught in terms of like Modern Warrior? And I do have some stuff for you guys. Of course, I'm not gonna let you down. But let me tell you first that I want to analyze this video that I just got on my hands today, right? Or I just got my hands on today. So it looks like Modern Warrior and his girlfriend got somebody fired. Like, I'm sorry, I was so focused on the apology that I missed this. So if you guys haven't seen this, the Modern Warrior got somebody fired. No news, no big news there, right? It's like, well, isn't like the 30th person. But this is interesting, and I'm gonna tell you guys why. Let's first see the video.
So I see a lot of people are confused about the whole Modern Warrior getting me fired situation, but he went live, and I'll show you what Lance and his lady had to say about the whole thing.
We attended a wedding, and a staff person at that wedding violated the privacy of really everybody at that event by posting pictures of him at my friend's wedding.
And put me in danger. And put the people at that wedding in danger.
Of saying, this is where this person is right now. The fact that when he gets recognized, it's immediately like, is this going to be dangerous, or is this going to be someone who's supportive?
All right, so first off, I never posted that picture anywhere, and you also clearly consented to the picture, and Miss Jones, you took the picture. As you can see here, looks pretty consensual to me. I also don't really see how I put your privacy or safety in danger, because also you posted the picture at the wedding on your Instagram. Again, right here, just at the same wedding. I really did not expect for you to even take the picture with me, let alone believe I was a fan just based off things you said in the past. But again, this is also my first time even posting the picture. All I did was send it to Guy. So I sent the picture to Guy. I told him how I saw you guys filming the BIPOC Healing Space video, and how just minutes later you're on the dance floor like nothing happened, kind of showing how you weren't very sincere about your apology. Then Guy posted a video on it, to which I commented, "We move," and then Mrs. Warrior, you replied to my comment saying, "Start looking for another job, kiddo." Then fast forward to the next day, I get notifications on my phone, all my shifts are removed, I'm taken off the schedule, everything like that. I tell Guy. Guy posts a video saying I got fired, and then Mrs. Jones replies with a comment saying, "We move," mocking me. Reminder, they're about 40 and I'm 19. So I'm talking to my bosses. They don't really know what's going on at first, but then they email me saying I'll be reached out to. So then the big boss calls me, and he basically explains why I was fired with a cell phone and harassment policy, but he was also under the impression that I posted the video and that me and Guy were white supremacists. And he's relieved to find out that we're not, meaning that Mr. and Mrs. Warrior told him that we were. I guess it's just funny how when I expose you for lying to the indigenous people, you try to ruin me by saying I'm a white supremacist. So, see you.
So yeah, that happened. Again, how many of us are really surprised, right? Let's be honest. Like, this is not the first time that Lance has decided to effectively bully a minor, right? I mean, I think what he said 19. Did I miss that part? Maybe he's 19. I mean, not technically a minor, but still. I mean, how many times, right? This is what his agenda is. It's to find vulnerable people and just F with them, right? He got pissed off because the way the guy, whatever the kid, presented it as like, oh, you know, he like clown on him or something. I did see that video, right, of that kid, the kid that he also had some issue with Modern Warrior. He's like, oh, this guy trolled him. I don't know that maybe he necessarily did that, possibly, you know, but the problem here is that were you unsafe? Were you unsafe? Modern Warrior and Modern Warrior's girlfriend, were you unsafe? Because for you to say, I want to call this kid's job and get you fired because we were unsafe, you're not unsafe now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if something would have transcended from that situation, right, where in that wedding people got there and interrupted the wedding and started harassing the guy or whatever, or they got into a fight, okay, different conversation. I will say, hey, you know, it's crazy, right? But that did not happen, right? So him going back probably hours, if not days later, and doing all this extra work, either him or his girlfriend, to get this kid fired, speaks volumes. It continues to speak volumes on the kind of person, you know, that he is, the kind of human being that he is, right? And let me tell you, for anyone else that's in here, because I saw a couple people that are like kind of supporters of the guy. Listen, everybody, please, very, very carefully. We have no expectation of privacy in public, right? We don't. And even if it's a private event, you're still in a public setting. So you have no real expectation of saying, oh, in here I should be safe. No. You have expectation of privacy, arguably, unless you have like Alexas and cameras. Again, another conversation, but in your home, arguably. But in public, no expectation of privacy. Now, that worsens when you decide to be a, quote, public figure. When you decide to be someone like Modern Warrior, right, millions of followers, he loves that shit, right? He loves being, like, famous. I mean, he reminds everyone that he wants to have, like, you know, he wants to have his little check mark, right? I'm gonna switch the camera real quick, guys. He wants to have his little check mark, right? He's mad because TikTok hasn't given him his check mark. So when you decide to be a public figure, you have less expectation of privacy. So what this guy did, it's BS, and what the girlfriend did is BS, right? You know, again, if you disagree, please let me know. But how happy rather, do you think he was when someone came up to him and be like, oh my God, hey, are you the Modern Warrior? He's like, yeah. Can I have a picture with you? How happy do you think he was? Like, real talk. Like, how freaking, like, in the clouds do you picture that this guy was, right? Like, oh, I get recognized. And he said it before in other videos. Like, oh, when I go out and I get recognized. I think he said it when he said, I don't move for white people. Right? So it's like, so you only want to be recognized by positive followers, or whatever you want to say, by your fans. This is what I was saying yesterday, right? That eventually this guy, he pretends to be a victim. You're gonna come across, dude, especially with how controversial you are, you're gonna come across haters, right? And you need to be able to behave yourself. Do not get everyone fired, because then at this point, how can followers continue defending that you're not effectively coming out here maliciously trying to end people's lives? You know what I mean? So that one was really interesting, right? When I came across this video, I don't think it should die, so to speak, where it is. I think I'm looking to interview this kid. So by the way, anyone here that can tag me in anything you want to tag me, please feel free to do it. I don't care what social media you're on. Trust me, I'm probably on there, right? So just tag me, because this is how we keep people that feel that they have power over folks like us accountable, right? You hear all this romantic talk about keeping people that are big celebrities, right? The Rock and stuff like that, people of that stature, accountable. No. Where does accountability start for so-called upcoming celebrities? Now. It starts right now, right? So tag me in anything you can, and if you can somehow, anybody watching this, by the way, help me connect with this kid. I believe it might be max.marked. I don't know, because a lot of times videos get re-uploaded. If you guys can help me, you know, expedite my ability to meet with this kid, I would ever eternally grateful to you guys. I've tried. I cannot seem to get through. If you can somehow, if you guys find him, because I know they say I think his TikTok got taken down. Anyways, I would love to connect with the kid, right? It would be really interesting to see from his perspective a time lapse of like what occurred, why. You're like, well, what the fuck is that gonna do? Well, what does that matter? I'll tell you why. Because it's gonna tell us, like I've been showing you guys, a pattern, right? This malicious, psychotic pattern that some of these creators have. Like I showed you guys with that Dinesh guy, right? In case you're like, man, who the hell, you know, when you know, who the hell is that Danish guy? Trust me, there's a whole video series that I did on the guy. But these creators that are very toxic, they have a pattern. They have like this pattern that they have to bring other upcoming people down, or just random individuals. And just the way, just like they find ways to ruin people's lives, I don't want to say it's the same, but people like us can also fight against their toxicity, against their bad habits. But how can you do that? By catching on to their patterns. By catching on to their patterns. And they have a pattern. And it's important to interview, talk to the victims, if you may, right? Victims of these people. Victims of RX Exorcist. Victims of that Dinesh guy. Victims of Lansosi or the Modern Warrior. That is how you can also hit back. So a lot of you guys get really upset, right? When you feel anger because you're like, damn, these freaking assholes, like they're out here ruining people's lives, like this kid, right? How did they do it so easy? Because there's a pattern. What do they do? How do you get them back? And again, it's by interviewing the victims. So if you guys can connect me with any of these folks that are so to speak, victims of these people, it doesn't have to be just Modern Warrior, by the way. Have them hit me up. Have them message me. Because I would love to ask, where did it start? How did their followers start harassing you? How did they start calling your company or your boss or whatever, right? How did it start? When did they start calling your babysitter or your daycare, right? Because all that will be able to help, unfortunately, not the victim, him or herself, but future individuals, right? That are going to continue getting hit. Because I know everybody gets upset. You're upset. I'm upset. I'm tired of it. I think the vast majority of you guys are tired of it. And by the way, I'm not talking about when there are people out there that are just disgusting human beings, which, to be fair to the credit of all these a-holes, sometimes, and I'm using that very lightly here, sometimes, you know, sometimes they do good. Ugh, I feel weird saying that. But the vast majority of times, they don't. The vast majority of times, they do it with the intent of destroying, right? And it's never enough to just like out them. It's never enough to just bring their crime to justice. No. It's let's end them. So I always ask people, like, where does this end? When? Where does this end? Right? Where? Like, what do you guys want out of these people? Like the guy who saw the video of that guy that threw like the smoothie that he said his son was allergic to peanuts. You guys remember seeing that video? I wish I would have prepared it. You guys see that video, right? Where he threw that smoothie to the girls. That's a asshole thing to do. Like, it is, right? It's, you know, what the hell's wrong with you, man? Like, why would you do that? But guess what? It wasn't enough for the guy to lose his job. No. I saw countless videos and comments of people saying that they wanted to find out who was giving this guy a mortgage. What? Where does it end? Right? Like, they wanted to see this guy go to prison or I dare say unalive. I mean, that is psychotic. That is crazy. And again, the only way to keep these so-called influencers, justice warriors, accountable for what they put out there and be careful with what they say is by finding a pattern, right? And shoving it in their faces and knowing that the same thing that they're trying to influence their community to do, it can happen to them too. And there's going to be people like me. And in case for some reason in all these viewers, which is not a lot of viewers, Modern Warrior, his girlfriend, followers, Aunt Karen, Tizzy, RXXer says, all you folks out there, that Dinesh guy, in case you get to see this video, pay attention. I'm going to say this one time. I am that guy. I am that guy that's here to hold you accountable. I'm that guy. Why do you keep making so many videos on me? I would imagine one day Lance would tell me. Because I'm that guy. I'm that guy that's going to keep you accountable when you feel that you are untouchable. And that's the way it should happen. And there's a lot of people that are too afraid to come out and speak out against you. And this goes for all the people that I just mentioned. But you got to remember that, like, all of you guys had videos about staying humble. You have to remember and remind that you should also stay humble. That's why. That's why I'm that effing guy. Because somebody should. Because someone should keep the gods of TikTok accountable. Someone should. Because everyone else sees those videos and they have to go to bed and go to the next video angry that that's it. There's nothing that we can do to prevent our exorcist and her cult, or Aunt Karen or Modern Warrior from sicking her sick cult. Play of words there. Sicking her sick cult. Their sick cult on people. And again, to what end? To what end? I am all for keeping bad actors accountable, right? Out there. People that act like a-holes, to say the least. But to what end? Like, where does this stop? How many of you guys have seen videos of that Dinesh guy that he won't do like 1, 2, or 3, 4? He'll do like countless parts, updates on like how are we ruining their life? Like, we already got them fired. What else can we do to them? Countless videos. Where does it stop, Dinesh? Where does it stop on Karen, RXX? Where does it stop? So that's why, unfortunately, there has to be someone like me. And there's more people like me. I don't think I'm the only fucking guy. There has to be people like me that will watch you, right? Because eventually you will slip up. Eventually you're going to do something, and I'm going to be there, and you have to be reminded of that. For those of you guys, by the way, before we end this, that have asked me, dude, how come you haven't done like the Tizzy one? I've been tagged a lot on stuff. Tizzy preemptively blocked me. He did. So that tells me the guy knew who I was. So he preemptively blocked me. But I'm not done yet. Right? The guy has done things, has said things that are just disgusting. And he's cleaned up his act, so to speak. But it cannot be forgotten. Right? I don't want any other jobs. I don't care for any of that. And I would ask all of you guys, that's not how you put them in their place. Trust me, it's not about fire with fire. It's a little bit more than that. It's about teaching them that their own fire can burn them. If you catch what I'm saying. That's what it's about. It's about teaching them that while they're flaming the fires, it can come right back at your face. It's not about fire with fire necessarily. So Tizzy, I go back to his video, I work on it a little bit, and then I go check his account with my other accounts like everyone else has. But he preemptively blocked me. So it's hard for me to come across his videos. So remember, if you guys are able to tag me in anything, please do. Like, I implore that you tag me. You're not going to bug me. Just tag the shit out of my name. It's JTH Show, or even the JTH Show. It's basically me. So if you can, go ahead and tag me. And I want to find these videos. So I want to keep doing these. There's 30 of you guys here, 20 of you there over here on YouTube, and that's all I need. Legit. This is all I need. I don't need thousands, because of the few are many. So thank you for every single one of you guys that showed up today. Okay, you are the most important part of my videos. This that I cover for you guys and I gather and I work, this is just like a cherry on top. It's just for us to entertain ourselves. But you guys are the most important part of these videos. So thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. I won't take more of your time, and until next time, see ya.